Serious Redditors from Lebanon or Beirut, how are you after the horrific explosion in the city? I was going to see a friend, was on the highway and suddenly the explosion happened. I was a few kilometers from it. I didn't feel the shockwave cause I was in the car with the windows up. Thankfully no broken windows or damage to my car. Suddenly after the car started shaking, and I have seen the huge smoke, I was still in shock. Saw cars in front of me lose it and hit a wall. Pedestrians passing out on the sidewalk. Army everywhere. I was surprised they were there that quick. Maybe they were evacuating because of the fire. I seriously have no clue. Anyway, 30 seconds after the explosion, the friend I was going to calls me panicking and couldn't breathe. He told me his brother was really close to the explosion and has hurt badly. Asked me to go to the nearest hospital. I turn around trying to go there. The roads are chaos. Can't actually go anywhere. A few minutes he tells me he was able to talk to him again, and he is a hospital near the explosion. He couldn't get medical attention and to go pick him up and take another hospital. After 10 minutes of illegal driving, climbing over sidewalks, thankfully I haven't survived. I managed to arrive to the hospital. It was a war zone. Blood literally everywhere on the floor. People fully laying down everywhere inside and outside the hospital on the streets. The hospital itself was in ruins. Ceiling panels everywhere. Windows all shattered. Doctors and nurses running around in confusion. I locate my friend. He is in bad shape. Arm all fucked up. Legs covered in glass. A big chunk of his head missing. I convince a doctor to stitch him up quickly, simply to stop the big bleeding. Put on something on his head and quickly take him to another hospital. He was fully covered in blood from head to toe. I swear I'm not exaggerating. We get in the car, turn on my blinkers, and full on towards another hospital. There was confusion to which hospital I should take him. I decided on a hospital further away, hoping that people didn't have time to get to, yet so my friend would get medical attention. I drive like a maniac, my hand almost consistently on the horn, blinkers on, and waving to people all along the way. There were no traffic rules for me at the time. People got angry, but I couldn't care at the time. We arrive and the hospital is packed. I hastily park on the sidewalk and walk to the since there were too many cars blocking the road. I get him inside. Judging by the looks of him, the doctor quickly talks to him and figures out what is hurting and what needs to happen. His family members arrive 30 minutes later. We stayed until 12 AM until he was admitted to the hospital from the and we went home. He is fine and stable. Devastated. I'm thinking that life was paradise before that explosion, and trust me, life was fucking shit even before the disaster. Edit. It has been confirmed that my teacher at university lost his life in the incident. I'm Lebanese and I'm stuck abroad because of COVID. I was on the phone with my grandmother when it happened. You do not want to hear your grandmother yelling like she is about to die. Everyone I know and I spent hours making phone calls, texting people, "Are you alive?" worrying when the other person took more than a split second to answer. We had ceiling to floor windows in my house. They are completely destroyed. Mom had to stay home alone all night and we were worried someone would try to break in because we live on the second floor. We were also worried about the fumes. This is something I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. After 12 hours my ear still hurts a little. I'm getting myself checked today. The shockwave was really intense. Thank God my lazy ass didn't go for a walk. Edit. Typo. My grandmom sadly passed away while my brother came out safely with a few burns. There is only one main road standing between my house and the port. Thankfully, I left the apartment 10 minutes before to meet a friend. Saw the fire and thought it was something casual. Walked one street away, so one more layer of building away from the port, and sat and ordered some food outdoors. A few minutes later, we hear very loud rumbling, stand up to see what's happening from a better angle, and boom. The scariest moment in my life was seeing the blast come my way and not knowing what will happen next. My first impulse was to run away from buildings. My friend's impulse was to run into them to hide, so we ran in opposite directions. And then, glass and pebbles fell on me, and everything was covered in dust. I got minor wounds, and went with my friend to check on her boyfriend who lives nearby. Apartment was full of blood and we couldn't find him. Even in those moments I looked at her and said, "You just got the full Beirut experience. To which she responded, "Yes, I'm definitely ready to leave." She went to the nearest hospital to see if her boyfriend was there and found out that he was transported to another hospital further from Beirut. I called my mom, and the moment she responds she is crying. She lives somewhat far, but was worried about me and was glad I'm alive. I went back to check on my house, and the streets were like a war scene. People running everywhere and screaming, blood all over the place, rubble, and people fighting. Someone parked to get someone injured and blocked the way on another car wanting to take someone injured to the hospital. The stairs in my building were full of bloodstains and screams. Doors on all floors are out of place. Reached the house, and it has literally imploded on itself as all the windows were closed. So, the house is gone. The building next to mine had 2 floors blown away into the street, with electricity lines on the street amid the rubble. I also lost my car in the process as rubble fell on it. As I was packing the essentials to leave my house, the neighbor above me told me a lady in the building had her neck broken and needed assistance. We call for an ambulance but no response, so we call my neighbor's son-in-law. He says he's on his way. I take my stuff and leave for my parents' house. No cars anywhere near to take me. I walk for around a mile, and as I walk I see a beggar I always used to see nearby. He asks how he can reach North Lebanon, where his family is, and asks for money to go there. Tells me his brother died as rubble fell on him from the building, and cries. I pass him some money, tell him we have all been horrified, and to take care. I find a taxi, and go to my parents' house. They cry when they see me coming. I'm still processing all what happened, and perhaps this is the reason I wrote this long comment. I can still feel the buzz in my ears, and watching the videos makes me shake on the inside. Lost everything, still processing, still processing. Edit, some pictures I took during the incident https://unga.com/gallery/3h79mkt. My brother felt a shockwave 12 to 14 miles east a lot later than I did. I was about 2 miles south, but I managed to reach home without major injuries. I wasn't scared from a trembling building, and shattered windows not cause him so great, but I didn't process what happened, saw the mushroom cloud, and genuinely thought we got nuked. I didn't understand the blast and what I went through. Before I saw all the videos online I got extremely lucky. Edit. Thanks everyone for the support. I'm fine, and managed to sleep a bit. Prayers go out to all affected more than me. Lebanese but living in Australia. Auntie and uncle are in hospital with some injuries but are okay. My dad's auntie however is missing, and she lived nearby in a building on one of the top floors. We are fearing the worst. Edit. Great news guys. I'm just at my dad's house, and he has told me that his auntie's daughter found her unconscious in her room. She is making a recovery in hospital. Her property has been destroyed. There is a bit of relief at home, but we are still concerned for my uncle and auntie, dad's sister and brother-in-law. My auntie's shoulder is broken, and I'm not fully aware of my uncle's injuries just yet. Dad is saying he is in pretty bad shape and requires surgery. My cousins in the villages are heading towards Beirut to visit them. I'll update this post when I find out more. Thank you all for the kind words. Please keep the people of Lebanon in your thoughts and prayers. They have been doing it tough for a while and this just doesn't make anything any easier. Lived a kilometer away from the explosion. I left Lebanon 2 weeks ago to visit family. My house is completely destroyed and unlivable. My 2 closest friends were my roommates. One was in the bathroom when it happened. The other was outside walking back from work. They were sending me voice notes of what was going on while it happened. These 2 men are the strongest people I know, and getting messages from both of telling me to tell their families they love them in case anything happens shakes you. If they were in their rooms I can't begin to imagine what would have happened to them. They are both safe now in the mountains. Thankfully no one I know is dead, just lots of injuries. Edit. Guys please if you can donate to our Lebanese Red Cross they'll need the help they can get. I got an award, but your funds are better used for the volunteers that commit their life for our health and safety. https://www.supportalrock.app/wire transfer/